another video on this pancake lasagna type of thing. So it's a bit like lasagna, but lots of layers of pancakes and not so much filling. And then it's coated in pancakes as well, and then you can turn it upside down. And I've got all the ingredients for it, so let's have a go. And you know, to make a load of pancakes, it wasn't that as much work as what was going to put me off in the first place. So the first one I did was a bit of a disaster, but well, it wasn't. It was nice, but it didn't work out. So we need to make we need to line this dish with pancakes. So how are we going to do it? It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Let's do six. Let's do six, and I've slightly greased the baking parchment. So I've got some more pancakes. So let's do 6 on the bottom. Oh, these are thin, these are better. 6 on the bottom, making sure they go up the sides. And then I've got some leftover parsley sauce, which it should just be like a white sauce, but it's going to be parsley sauce. And then I've got some, I'm going to put in first. Let's put in the parsley sauce. So it just happens to have parsley in it, but it's basically just a white sauce. So we need, it's thin splashes, so not so much. It's more about the pancakes than anything else. So that's about enough of that. I think, is that going to fall in there? Maybe a little bit more. That's enough of that. And then I've got some spinach, which is just the frozen spinach. I'm not going to put too much spinach in. And then I've got some wild garlic stalks in the freezer, which I thought they'll just, I'll be able to use those. I was going to use them in something else, but we've got some wild garlic stalks, so we can put a smattering of those in. A little bit. Actually, we just need to squeeze that excess liquid out of those because they're a bit wet. So a few of those in there, we'll get a nice bit of garlickiness from those, and then we've got the leftover meatballs, which I preserved in a jar. So you can just dot a few meatballs here, there and everywhere and stop that from falling over. And a little bit of the sauce as well. These meatballs are delicious, so it will make a nice sauce. Like so. I'm putting water and washing my hands because they're just going to get dirty again. And then I had to cut these pancakes down a little bit because I didn't want them to build up too much at the sides, so I just made them a bit flat like that. So I've kind of cut the edges off either side, and then others I've cut in half, not that one, so they can just go in there like that. And then repeat the process. Keep on going and going and going. Build up the layers, and then until I've run out of pancakes, or the container is full. That seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? I've got some feta out of the freezer as well. So it should be an Italian cheese, but let's just use up this feta because I'd rather, I'd just rather use something up rather than buy something. I have got some Italian cheese in the fridge, but this feta is cheap, and we like cheap. It's alright, does the job. Well, it's not feta, it's class of salad cheese. So just a little bit of cheese as we go, and then those layers back on, and then the next layer. So it's more about the little bit of filling, lots of pancakes. There we go. There we go. So same again, sauce, meatballs, spinach, feta, pancakes, and again and again and again and again. Right, so I should have had longer pancakes hanging outside, but you know, we live and learn. So I reckon about 4 eggs worth of pancakes. So 1 egg makes about 7 pancakes. So I reckon 28 pancakes, something like that. And then a jar of about 700-gram jar worth of meatballs. And then how much spinach? I ran out of spinach. How much spinach? About a third of that bag. Is there a kilo of spinach in that bag? Yeah, so like 300 grams, call it 400 grams worth of spinach, because there was that little bit of wild garlic. And then that's 2 kilos. So let's say 700 milliliters of white sauce. And then how much cheese? How much is in one of those packets? So one of those packets is, and then probably reckon about 300 grams worth of cheese. That sounds about right, doesn't it? Like 300. So fold that over, fold that over, fold that over. I had to tuck the pancakes down the side, which was a little bit awkward, but we'll see how we go. And then that over there, and then that over there, and then that over there, and then to stop the top from being over baking, we need to put a bit of greaseproof paper on top. Where's greaseproof paper? Well, it's not greaseproof paper, it's baking parchment. So, a bit of baking parchment over the top, and to keep it in place in the fan oven, what we'll do is we'll tuck it underneath. And then I'm going to cook it while I'm going swimming. So 125 for about an hour and a half, and then we'll have a look at it when we come home and we'll see how it turns out. So I think we're done, and I'm hungry enough that I don't care if it's not entirely done. So puffed up a bit, it feels hot. Now the idea is that we have to turn it out. That means we're going to have to, well, that's crispy, that's gone crispy on top, that's okay. It's puffed up, that's good. So how are we going to do this without it going everywhere? Can I do this? Can I do this? No, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. So, cooker top's dirty. I don't really care. So, and then like that. Board on top. Hopefully it won't, everything won't squish out. And then turn over. Oof. Right. That off. That's okay. Let's let that cool down before I put it in the washing up bowl. And then look at that. That looks good, doesn't it? That looks good. I was thinking about this while I was swimming, and I've done a version of this. I've done a version of this before, where it was just layers of it's like, I don't know what that is. So I've done a version of this before, but it was just lots of layers of pancakes with cheese in between them, and then I baked it in the oven, and then I sliced into it. And I was kind of, sorry, I'm just banging around with this. I was kind of thinking that it seems a bit of a faff putting it in a container and wrapping it like that. And then I was kind of thinking what I should have done was I should have made one big pancake, and then made lots of other smaller pancakes in this pan, and then fitted the big pancake inside. What I've got is I've got a pan without a frying pan without a lid. So I've got that frying pan without a lid, which I sometimes bake things in the oven. So then I would put the big pancake in the bottom, and then layer it with the smaller pancakes, and then that would do the job of that. So I should have done it that way, and then we could get like nice nice like pizza slices off it. But anyway, so looks good. I should take a picture, really, shouldn't I? Yes, I'll take a picture. Let's cut into it. So let's do it. Let's get a sharper knife than that. Let's get the newer knife that's really sharp that we really need to be careful with. So I'm sure the pasta grannies that did this originally, that I saw it on, they served it cold, but I don't want to serve it cold, I want it hot. In all honesty, I think making 28 pancakes is a bit of a faff, but if you're in the kitchen and you're doing something else at the same time, it doesn't take much just to have be cooking pancakes at the same time as doing like another job in the kitchen, you know, and while you listen to a podcast as well, or listen to the radio, or have a conversation with your partner. And it's not too much of a struggle just to stand there and, if you've got a couple of frying pans, make a load of pancakes for something a little bit different. But so let's just move that. I'll cut through the paper. Don't worry. There we go. That looks great, does that? That looks great. So can you see that? That looks great, does that? I'm chuffed to bits with that. That looks wonderful, does that? So, we'll give it a try. But it's not going to be, of course it's going to be nice, because everything that I put into it was nice. And they are those kind of flavours that kind of work together, you know, like white sauce and meatballs and cheese and spinach. They are all things that are nice anyway. So of course it's going to work. Of course it's going to work. I did have a fork. Oh, I know I did it. It's there. So if I think of an alternative to making it with pancakes, something a little bit easier. See, you couldn't really use phyllo pastry because it wanted to disintegrate as it cooked, which is what the problem I had with I made it with spring roll wrappers, and it didn't work because they disintegrated as it cooked. So they were fine on the outside, but on the inside it just went to nothing. Still ate it, you know. We don't throw food away in this house. So what does it taste like? That's delicious. That's delicious. So you can make it like that, or you can do it in an oven-proof dish like that. So you can find those pizza pans, can't you? Hang on, I've got a pizza pan. I'll show you. So this is a pizza pan. It's got the holes on the bottom, so the pizza base goes crisp and not soggy. You can make it in one of those. You know, like as long as you've got. You can get these in smaller sizes. As long as you've got as long as your pancakes are bigger than that, you know, it would what we call it. It would work. So that's delicious. I think I said the recipe, didn't I? About kind of quantities. Yeah, just a bit of a bother making 28 pancakes, 28 or 30 pancakes, but you know, worth it. That's delicious. That's a success.